Alright, so it's been a long time since I made a video, and now I'm going to make an audio. There's no real video for this, it's an audio. But if you're playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and you're in an alliance and you're kind of feeling that the game is a bit of a grind, or you kind of feel like you're getting told what to do, or you're not enjoying it, I want my lesson or my experience to kind of serve as a lesson in that regard, because I changed my guild and my game experience now is tremendously better than it was in my last guild. So the best way for me to explain the whys and the hows and what the benefits have been is really to go through the story. So to keep a very long story as short as possible, I've only really, up until the point of changing, I'd only really been in one guild. I've only been in two long-term guilds. The first one I was in for about a week. So my primary guild, let's just call it Guild A to keep it sensible. So I was in Guild A for a long time. I got promoted to officer, and at that time of the game, we were going to push for Heroic Sith. It had just been launched, and that was our target. But we were kind of aware that to do that we needed to attract kind of more dedicated players, certainly players with a better roster than some of the guys that we have. So kind of the rule was in, if you keep playing, you just crack on, you're kind of all right. So some players were highlighted, and these were kind of repeat guys who didn't get the 600 tickets, scored 0 on territory wars, or didn't do very well in territory battles, kind of the more casual players. So they were highlighted, they were shortlisted, and some other guys in the guild found another guild to merge with. So we were going to merge. We were going to take, I think we took on about 10 or 12 players, something like this. And of course, some of the players that were moving over weren't very happy about it. It was just kind of a surprise. It was just kind of a, you're leaving now. You're not good enough. This is why. I don't know what the exact message that was sent to them said. I imagine it was probably more diplomatic than that. But that was really the long and short of it. So there was a culling and a merge, and then we brought some new guys in, and that was kind of fine, and we built it up, and everything was great. And then something kind of started to happen regarding recruitment, in that so much as that the philosophy was really if you kind of play, you're all right, no matter what your galactic power was. I was one of the 4th or 5th smallest consistently. Simply because people were getting recruited that were bigger than me, but some of these guys that were being brought in were a lot larger than me. So that 3 million, 2.5 million, 3 million GP players, so full rosters. They had the Jedi Ray, so they were ready for the Sith raid, and the people that were cut were seemingly just kind of cannon fodder. Really, they were just cut over, and it seemed at the time to me that some of these people were kind of offered, officer permissions, or offered some kind of power simply because they had a larger roster. And I'm an old man, and I've experienced this in gaming since the late 90s, when it all kind of went on the internet. And there are some people that really do think that, if they're more powerful than you in a game, then they're more powerful than you in real life. Those guys. I think we kind of invited some of those guys in. We definitely invited one of those guys in. One chat. For example, I've been in the guild for since the beginning, and I'd cracked on, and I'd done my best, and I'd participated wherever was possible, and did everything I could, and logged on every day, and got my tickets. Blah 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 blah. And but I didn't have a Phoenix team. I still don't have a full Phoenix team because I just haven't got a Phoenix team. I've just did everything else. And this one guy really took umbrage to the fact that I didn't have a Phoenix team, and he questioned my dedication as to why I didn't have a Phoenix team and how I wasn't playing hard for the team. It's like, in less polite terms, mind your own business. Because who the hell are you? You've been here 5 minutes. I've been here a year. Don't question my dedication. So it started to get a bit sticky. There for me, because it wasn't so much that somebody was, you know, it wasn't so much that somebody was saying, why don't you have a Phoenix team? It's a valid question. You know, it's a decent team to have. It's a requirement for certain things. But it was more that somebody just kind of rocked up, had a bigger GP, and decided to question my dedication to the alliance that I'd been in for a year. I was like, you know, come on, you can't do that. You can't just arrive. You've got to at least be polite first and say hello. And kind of more of this happened. You know, more of this kind of negativity happened, and it coincided with kind of a ramping up of discipline in the alliance. You know, tickets. You know, 600 tickets. 600 tickets at that level is kind of a minimum. So that was kind of set as a minimum. But then it started to get more than that. It started to get to the point of tagging names if people hadn't reached their 600, and you know, thinly veiled threats of finding other alliances. You know, this chap that decided to call me out threatened to take him and his team elsewhere, and he said that other people would follow him, other large players. Like, I'm supposed to go, you know, oh no, please don't go, please, I really need your pixels to validate my life. Really ridiculous. But and it was from that point that it started to get negative. It really started to get negative. So I made an excuse about me being too invested in the game, and I resigned my captaincy, and I just became a regular grunt in the chat boards, and I just did my thing. But then that didn't stop. It didn't stop. Kind of the questioning of, you know, I think some guy said he'd give some Google Play tokens to whoever got Phoenix first, me or another guy who didn't have a Phoenix team. Like, this mattered so much. Like, getting 6 territory battles special credits was so much more important than working on a P3 team for the heroic Sith raid. You know what I'm saying? Like really, what should I be doing here? Should I be unlocking Hermit Yoda, or should I be focusing on Sabine or whatever? And Sabine, I don't bloody know. I don't care either. So it kind of got to that, and then it started to get worse and worse and worse, until the point where 1 hour before ticket reset, everybody who hadn't reached their 600 tickets an hour before reset got a name tag in Discord. So you leave Discord notifications on because you want to be notified of important things, but you don't want to get spammed every day. The situation there was that my tickets refreshed 30 minutes before reset time, right? 30 minutes. So 1 hour before reset time, every day, I'm always not going to have 600 tickets. I'm always not going to have 600 tickets. Every day I was getting name tagged. Every day. Simply because it was half an hour before. I didn't even waste my time. I mean, I'd mentioned this before, but I didn't waste my time clarifying this point. And at that point, I just thought to myself, you know, why am I here? It's not even fun anymore. It's not even fun. I'm getting pressured to play a blooming game, you know. Another merge had happened that I wasn't aware of. You know, who were these players that have just been brought in randomly, and who were these players that had gone? I mean, I thought we were all okay after the first merge. I thought we'd cut all the useless players, and it was just I just wasn't enjoying it. Every piece of advice I gave to another player who asked a question was kind of shot down. There was a not safe for work channel that was just full of dicks, literally pics of, you know, dicks and boobs and porn. It was like being in a room full of, you know, prepubescent teenagers with, you know, who thought they had money, or who thought they had power because they were able to spend money on a game. And it was a really a shit experience. So I quit. I left. And what I did when I left was I just put a post up in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes forum saying I have these characters and I'm looking for a new alliance. And the first person that messaged me, I joined his guild because he just seemed quite nice. He was very honest. He said, you'd be one of our largest players, but certainly it's a relaxed guild, and you know, we'd love to have you, etc., etc. He just seemed like a genuine guy. And I joined the guild, and it turned out to be a group of guilds. It was actually four guilds in one overall alliance. So it was bigger than I thought it was when I joined, but certainly I was the second or third largest in my alliance when I joined. And true to his word, it's a very relaxed alliance. And one of the bonuses of joining a smaller alliance, of going from like 100, I think we were like 120 million GP at the time, from going from 120 million GP to a 30 million GP guild. I mean, it was a massive drop. Was all of a sudden, I was one of the big boys. So I went in there with a 7-star Gear 12 Wampa and a Vader, and you know, I was able to solo the pit, and it was easy for me, and I soloed the pit every day. And the leader changed the raid times to help me help out with Hat. I was able then to work on unlocking CLS, who I didn't have, and getting my raid hand up to speed so I could get P1 of Hat done before I went to bed. He changed the raid times for me. I worked on the crew to help the guild, and it was all a very nice process, just a very nice process. And here I am months later. We are able to do the Hat in a, you know, I think it takes a couple of hours now to clear Hat. A pit's obviously done in 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, because we have to wait for 2 minutes. We're on Sith Raid level 6 at the moment, but we're really on a level 5 Sith Raid. No one chases me if I don't reach my 600 tickets. No one's busted anyone's balls. Everyone's just playing the game. Discord is friendly. It's not super active, but at least there's no, you know, porn. It's gross porn as well. There's no gross porn, because most of what you saw was gross porn. You know, there's no gross porn. There's no childish behaviour. There's no stress on anybody. And right now I've got 44 million credits because I'm consistently in the top 5 of Pit when it's soloed, and I'm consistently ranked number 1 or 2 in both Hat and Sith Raid. So I've got 41 million credits, whereas before I was trying to balance 1 million, you know. With the rewards, with the rewards that I'm getting, I've able to boost up my roster pretty well, to the point where you know, my ships are up, my characters are up, my teams are up, because I keep getting the raid credits because I'm scoring well. So an unexpected bonus was simply that I'm now, I think, the 4th or the 5th largest now, thanks to a couple of recruits, and I'm enjoying the game. So what I'm saying is the point of this is that if you're in an alliance, and you kind of feel stuck in the alliance, but you just simply staying because of a loyalty that you haven't realized you've got, simply that's where you're playing the game, then change. You don't change. If you're a 1 or a 1.5 million GP player, go and find a smaller alliance that you can help out with, you know, sit at the top, get a crap load of rewards, and enjoy the game. You know, I couldn't enjoy Hat before. I didn't have the time to play the Pit in the old alliance because they were all over in 20 minutes. I wasn't experiencing the game. I was grinding and grinding for what? When was I going to play with the characters that I was grinding for? You know, I was only playing the game in the arena or special events. I was one of the small guys. it was pointless. But now I've got the full gambit of raids to play in, and I can really enjoy the game. So that's the end of this video. If you're feeling that, don't quit the game. Quit your alliance is what I'm getting at. If it's a rubbish alliance, if it's led badly, if it's too strict or not strict enough, you know, whatever your preference is, don't quit the game. Find another team.